Today we're jumping into Rancho Santa Fe. We're gonna dive into the pros and the cons about living right here in this San Diego suburb. We're gonna jump into kind of everything you need to know. So if you're thinking about moving out here, you're gonna know, is this the place for me or is it not? You know, every city has some good, has some bad. So that's what we're gonna cover today. As always, thanks for tuning in. I'm Chris Erickson. We got a real estate crew right here in San Diego. So if you are thinking about moving out here, you got some questions, numbers popping up right now, pause it, take a screenshot, hit us up later, whatever it might be, call, text, or email. Reach out. We'd love to hear from you guys. We love helping clients move right here to San Diego. So reach out, we'll hop on a Zoom call, get you dialed in. So let's jump into the pros. First thing is gonna be not something you can say for every other San Diego city, especially the coastal cities. As you get to there, they get more touristy. Right here at Rancho Santa Fe, it's not touristy. There's not a ton of stuff going on out there. People aren't really going out to Rancho Santa Fe to say, hey, you know, I'm gonna go explore this. There's a few little things. We'll get into potentially one of the cons too. And that leads us into our next point, kind of the space out here, the privacy you get out here in Rancho Santa Fe. That's one of the reasons a lot of people do like it out here. It's quiet. There's no real main roads. Now you'll find a few. Del Dios Highway cuts through a portion of it. You do have the, you know, going right through the village there, but most of the roads other than that are going to be side roads, so there's no freeways cutting through. And like in other parts, there's no like big main roads, like 4 lanes going through where you have to worry about that road noise. And a lot of this that I'm talking about today is going to be Rancho Santa Fe, an area called the Covenant. Now there's other areas of Rancho Santa Fe, but some things I'm talking about today don't necessarily pertain to those. So if you're thinking about those other areas, hit us up, drop us a comment below. We'll make some other videos on all of Rancho Santa Fe. We've already done a few, highlighting a few other neighborhoods around, but kind of most of the stuff that we're talking about right now is for the Covenant, which is an HOA area within Rancho Santa Fe. So going back to the space, the privacy, kind of the quietness you have out here, a lot of the houses are on these big lots of land. So in a lot of areas, there's minimum acreage that you have to have on your lot. So you just have space. Now there's, like I said, there's not necessarily too much to do in town, but a lot of people who do move out here, you have kind of everything you do need on your own property. So as you're exploring houses, as you're checking things out, you're gonna find tennis courts. You're gonna find big, beautiful vanishing edge pools. You're gonna find other little sports courts, maybe some pickleball courts, maybe a little bit of a, not a driving range, but you know, a little chipping range where you could, you know, play a little bit of golf and that kind of stuff. Big outdoor entertainment areas. So when you want to go do something, yeah, you're gonna have to kind of leave the area. There's also a lot to do on your own property. So one other thing about being within the HOA, which is a big central portion, you have the golf course in the middle, you have all the areas surrounding that, is you're gonna have 24-hour security. So there is security that cruises around this area all the time. If you're going on vacation, you can hit them up, do drive-by, check it out, all that kind of stuff. So this area isn't necessarily gated. A lot of homes do have gates going up the driveways and stuff. So the properties are gated, but the area as a whole is not. But you also have that 24-hour security cruising around. Now, while there's not a ton of amenities within Rancho, there are some really awesome amenities that are private for the HOA. So you're gonna have some private parks within here. There's an awesome little area, a private camping area that's only for residents within the Covenant right here in Rancho Santa Fe. Right in the center is the country club. So you do have to be a member, you do have to live within the Covenant to have access to that country club. Then from there you could join, you know, the tennis club, the golf, whatever other package you might want. But to even get into there, you do have to be a member within the Covenant. And then another thing about Rancho Santa Fe is just the community. It's a pretty tight-knit community. It's not too big of a footprint. There's not too many residents within the Covenant of Rancho Santa Fe, but you're gonna have community events. They have the 4th of July parade. They have a Rancho Days. They have golf tournaments throughout the year. They have just outside of the Covenant, they have a farmer's market and a different little shopping center over there. So you will find a lot of these community events throughout the year. And then even the country club, I think it's kind of like a laid-back country club. It's not really what you picture when you think a typical country club. I think it's a little more laid back, a little more chill, a little better vibe. I have a buddy who works out there and he just loves chatting with the people, always having a good time. Everybody's always super friendly, so it's a nice little vibe within that country club as well. And now when a lot of people do reach out about Rancho Santa Fe, a lot of people are specifically looking for the Covenant because that's what you get all these amenities for. There's other areas that do have golf courses. There's other areas that are gated. There's other areas a little further east that have these, that's up this big hill, they have these beautiful views. So there are other options, but I think the bulk of people looking to move relocate from somewhere else to Rancho Santa Fe, they're looking in that specific covenant area. Now, I've alluded to some of these cons, but one con, which is actually, it could be a pro, depends on how you look at it. There's not a ton of infrastructure within Rancho Santa Fe. So you have like the little downtown, the village area where you have a few restaurants, a few shops, a ton of real estate offices. You have bank, that kind of stuff. That's where the Rancho Santa Fe Inn, which just got remodeled as well. If you want to go there, grab a bite, have a drink, really cool little spot. But other than that, as you go out, you do have the little parks, the private parks, little camping areas, a few other little private spots, but you're not going to find like a ton of stores, or if you need to go to the grocery store, or you need to go to a Home Depot or something like that. That's not within here. You're going to be traveling a little more. It's going to be a little less convenient in that area, but you also don't have any of that traffic coming in. You just keep that rural feeling that it is out here. So you just have a ton of trees, you have a ton of space. Like, you don't have a big commercial zone within Rancho Santa Fe. Now, right as you go out, just a few other areas, there's like Harvest Ranch Market you could go to. There's a few different areas that you could hit fairly quick if you just need to go grocery shopping and stuff, but there's nothing right here. Another con about Rancho Santa Fe, there's some stricter regulations as far as what you can build, what you can do to your home. There's something called the Architectural Committee. They are in charge of any sort of remodels or big projects or new construction that you're doing at your house. Not in charge, but they do have to have it approved. They have their guidelines. A lot of the style out here is like Spanish style, Mediterranean style. You will find some other styles here and there, but everything does have to go through them. So it does keep the cohesiveness of the visuals of the houses throughout. I mean, not all, there's a lot of custom houses, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of different styles and stuff like that too, but anything that you do will have to go through them. They have a design review process. They have certain materials and stuff that you might have to use. And so it is just something to be aware of if you're coming out and you're looking at houses and you're like, we're gonna totally have to gut this thing, remodel it all. There's a lot you can do. Like I said, there's people who do that, who come out here, but you do have to abide by some of these guidelines. And another con, which this is, it could be a pro as well. It really depends on how you're looking at it. But it's kind of like a secluded lifestyle where you are out here. Like I said, you can live on your property. There are these community events and stuff, but you're also out here. There's the side roads cruising that if you're going to the downtown area, you have the little tiny village out there. But if you're going to the coast, if you're going down to downtown San Diego, it's going to be a little bit of a trek if you look for a little bit of that, nightlife. If you want just like to go out to some restaurants besides the few that are within there, you're going to be traveling a little bit. So you can enjoy your property, you can enjoy everything about your property, but once you do decide to travel out, it's gonna take you a little longer. Now, Solana Beach is not too far, Encinitas is not too far. Even if you go to like La Jolla or San Diego, you're still not too far. The location of Rancho Santa Fe in the Covenant is pretty central. So you're gonna take a little bit to get out of the community, to get to the main roads, to get to the highways, to get the freeways. But once you're there, it's a pretty quick shot. And a few small items, Rancho Santa Fe, you're not going to find any mailboxes. So everybody does have a P.O. box. Once again, just kind of keep the aesthetics. They don't want a ton of mailboxes throughout the whole community. So you will have to go pick up your mail once a day, once a week, whatever you want, whenever the post office is open right in town. And one other thing, since we are semi-rural, you do have the trees covering. You do have like these rolling hills. Sometimes you don't get the best cell service. Not a big deal, not much you could do. And that's throughout there's other little dead spots throughout San Diego too. So if we're out looking at houses with you and we're trying to get in a lockbox and we're having a little issue, it's probably because the cell phone service isn't great in that area. But all in all, not really a big issue. In Rancho Santa Fe, since it is spread out, you don't have like these big master plan communities where they cleared a bunch of land. There's a bunch of trees, there's a bunch of brush, there's a bunch of stuff that can be burned. So wildfire danger is pretty real right here in Rancho Santa Fe. So you're gonna have higher insurance costs in certain areas. You're just gonna have to be aware of that. A lot of times you're gonna have to clear land or clear a portion away from your house, so you do have like a fire defensible space. But fires aren't necessarily, it's not like a yearly thing. I'm just trying to think back. So I was in the pool business back in the day and I had a pool route. It's probably maybe 15 years ago, maybe even a little longer. But I was cruising through here doing my pool route and there was a big fire that had been coming through Rancho Santa Fe. So I pulled up and just in this parking lot and big black smoke coming over. It was one of the times when we had Santa Ana winds. You can probably hear the wind right now. This is a nice coastal breeze I got going on. But the Santa Ana winds coming from the other area. So it was actually blowing from inland to the coast, which does happen throughout the year during those warmer times. But like I said, you might find little fires here and there. That was the last big one I recall, but it is a risk within a lot of areas of San Diego too. But as we show you some of this drone footage from overhead, you're gonna notice, yeah, there's a lot of tree coverage, there's a lot of brush, there's just a lot of that throughout Rancho Santa Fe. Now, if you're looking online, you're looking at houses, you're checking out properties, you probably already know this next one. Home prices are definitely higher than a lot of other areas within San Diego. I believe the median price right around now, we're mid-2024, is about $5.4 million. So that's obviously bigger property, bigger home compared to different areas throughout San Diego, but you're also gonna have that bigger price tag. And with that, just moving out here, another thing, Rancho Santa Fe is a slightly different market than a lot of different areas. So you can expect market times to be a little bit longer, and this could be for resale too. So if you bought and then in 5 years you want to sell, I mean, the market could be totally different then, but typically you're gonna have longer market times than your typical areas throughout San Diego. You're sometimes more skewed to a buyer's market as opposed to a seller's market. Homes aren't necessarily going above list price by a crazy amount. I think right now, once again, mid-2024, the sales price to list price, so what they actually bought the home, is about 90%, a little over 90% of what the list price was. So just something to keep in mind too, as you are moving out here, keeping in mind, okay, what's happening with the market. It's a little bit different if you're watching news, if you're watching some of our other videos about what's happening in the market. We might be talking about specifically different areas, because out here it is a little bit different of a market. But if you guys are thinking about moving out and you got some questions, feel free to reach out, call, text, or email. I'm Chris Erickson. We have a real estate crew right here in San Diego, and we want to help you out. Jump on those Zoom call, dial you in, show you on a map, maybe these areas work, maybe these don't, and give you a little more insight into potentially moving out here to San Diego. So feel free to reach out. We got your back. We're making the move here to San Diego.